Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and today we are going to do a character guide on Garnet. She is our anniversary unit, so I'm sure a lot of people are going to be excited to use her and try her out. So in this guide, we are going to talk about what artifacts to give her, what spheres would be the best idea to give her, and then we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of playthrough. We're going to talk about her kit. Some of you might be familiar with her already, but maybe not some of the new things that came with her upgrades and her BT, right? So let's go ahead and hop in. Artifacts are fairly easy here. What we're going to do is 3 attack 108, 3 princess resolve boost. Max brave 330 would be your third choice for that, but if you can get attack 108, princess resolve boost, that's what you want to do there. And then on the spheres, so we're going to go ahead and look at the spheres here. So a sphere, like, she does a lot of damage now that she has her BT. So you kind of want to think of, like, she does a lot of supporting as well, but you kind of want to think damage dealer for some of these. So for the A sphere, once again, the general rule is most damage dealers, you want to go attack or brave on these. And then once again, I like fitting into like what suits the character. Like I like using spheres that character can use that maybe other characters can't. So Garnet, because of her kit, she's always doing weakness damage. So I think something like Rydia works really good because you're always attacking weakness, and so it's going to increase your brave damage and your attack by 5%. You could pick a different spear that would be like 10% attack or one that would be 10% brave. Something like that would be good. It doesn't have to be weakness damage. Like you can pick anything as long as she qualifies for it. Just look at what you have in your roster and any of that would work there, right? But I definitely like a weakness spear on her because that's not something that every character can use. For the C slot, I think her own is very good. Anything that can buff her attack or brave, right? So her own gives her a 10% attack buff when recovering HP, which she does quite a bit in her kit. So I really think that that's a really good one to give her. And then for the D slot, just anything to increase party stats. So I went ahead and put Ash on her, raises party attack by 2% for 6 turns. This is the unrefined one, or it's the refined one, not like the good one. So I think the good one does maybe 5% or 6%, something like that. Ignis was another one. I think Ignis is like the same thing, but he's for Max Brave. So just anything, and like Garnet grants buffs all the time. So any of these like buffs, any of these buff granting spheres that you can use that help the party Max Brave or attack, any of that, I think you're good to go there. So that's going to be my recommendation for spheres. So let's go ahead and we're going to hop into a fight here, and we're going to take a look at her kit and what she can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hop into a chaos fight here. We'll keep it pretty simple. Hopefully I don't annihilate them too fast. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go into a Lufenia. I feel like if I do a chaos, I'm going to beat them too quick. So we'll do this. And then we're just going to hop in. I don't really need a friend unit. And we'll do that. Okay, so a lot... Oh, yeah, I haven't done her ultimate mission yet. Sure, let's do it. So Garnet, a lot of her kit really hasn't changed. She just got some like very notable upgrades, obviously getting the burst, right? So what we'll do is we'll kind of go through like each part of her kit here as we go through, and we'll kind of talk about the rotation. So what's going to happen is Garnet is going to start off with the free ability use. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with her, she basically has a water stance and she has a thunder stance. Her water stance is more for brave gains. Her Thunder Stance is more for brave damage. So if you want to be more offensive and do damage, go to Thunder Stance. If you want to do more brave gains in battery, then you want to go to Aqua Stance. So you can choose however you want to start. I usually start with Aquamarine. I like getting the brave gains right away. So I'm going to go hit that as my free skill use, right? Now what's going to happen is when you use that, it's going to change her HP and brave attack pluses. So now you see I have Deluge Plus and Dragon Wave. Honestly, the way she's set up now, you're probably never going to use these, because part of what she got with her upgrades now is she actually replenishes skill uses. So honestly, you're probably not going to be hitting the brave and HP attacks very much. They're basically just mini versions of what they're already doing, right? So the water ones are brave gains that do either AoE or single target, and then the lightning ones are just more brave damage with single target and AoE in different ways. But they're a lot weaker attacks than the actual move. So nowadays, you're probably just going to be using that, right? So that's basically the 15 and 35. Her EX, which we don't have right now, it does big time buffs and party healing is what that is going to do. And then when you use Holy Prayer, the other thing you're going to get from that is it's going to imperil the enemies for water and lightning, so you're going to get double imperil down. The thing I didn't mention is when you use the 15 and 35, when you go into water or lightning stance, you're also imperiling that element. So it's really cool because you could run her in a team comp with maybe lightning, right? And then you could stay more in thunder stance and then keep them imperiled. Or if it's just like some character that doesn't imperil themselves but has an element attached to them, you could do that. But like I said, the EX is going to imperil both, which is really, really good, right? So we're going to go ahead right now and we're going to pop the LD. So let's go ahead and do the LD here. So what the LD is going to do, and this one was already out, right? So some people are pretty familiar with it. This is going to heal the party. It's going to refresh her overhead buff. Basically, her overhead buff is just giving like stats to the party, right? I'm going to kind of attack through here. But what happens is when her overhead buff has 4 stacks, which you're going to see right there, see that follow-up that just happened? And it is big damage. So like when you're on like a good proper team, this isn't a proper team setup. I'm just kind of bringing Lena for a little bit of support, and I'm bringing a Miditelian just to like wipe the enemy's turn so I don't have to worry about them. But like if you're having like a really good setup, her follow-ups are typically doing like 500k plus to both enemies, which is really good. So now you see Garnet stacks are at 2 above her head. Basically what happens is every 4 actions, whether it's an enemy or your action, doesn't matter, that's going to tick up. Every time that ticks to 4, you're going to get that massive follow-up, right? Which is really, really good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just wipe enemy turns here. So we'll kind of watch the stacks as they go through. So you can see now it's up to 3 stacks. So now when that hits the 4 stacks, we're going to kind of blow them up again, right? So let's go ahead and let's hop into her BT effect. So let's try this out. So we're going to do the BT attack. So we're going to start with this right here. Basically what this does is it gives her just absolutely insane like brave gains up to the party, as well as just other generic support. But if you have this buff up and her AA, her active ability, it's like 60% brave gains, which I believe is the highest that we've ever had on global to this point. So her, yeah, look at that brave gain we just got. It's absolutely ridiculous the amount of brave gain we just got on that. Just watch the brave gains. It's crazy. Yeah, like we're going to be capping on Brave now the rest of the way. Now, granted, this isn't a Lufenia Plus fight, right? But just to show you that, like, the Brave... And I don't even have her AA up right now. So we can use her AA, too, as well. So one of the things that happened, though, with her LD boards, they got a little bit of an upgrade. And so Eternal Darkness, the LD, it now restores an ability use to S1 and S2. So this is why I feel like you can be more comfortable spamming S1 and S2 if you want to. I don't know, unless you're doing some really long fight, you're probably honestly not going to have to use the HP or Brave attacks, which is really cool, right? So we'll do a couple other things here. So we're going to get back to Garnet's turn, right? Okay, so what we're going to do is let's go ahead and use our AA. So once again, Brave regen boost all. This is going to help our Brave gains. Yeah, that was 150k Brave gain right there. So pretty darn good, because she's now like C90, right? So now we want to get her, so her EX and her AA are like really beefed up. So let's go ahead and let's do a Thunder attack just so you guys can see it. Okay, so you can see like 400k to both, and then here's the follow-up. And then, so she basically on that turn did 900k to each enemy. So that was almost a mil AoE. Like, the damage is pretty insane, right? I forgot what these enemies' orbs are. I didn't really plan for the orbs, so that's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and get another turn or two with Garnet, but I think that's pretty much it. Remember, guys, on my character guides, I'm not going to go through and, like, spout off all the specific numbers and everything. I just want just to give you that basic idea, right, of, like, what the character's kit does. And what it can do. What we'll do is let's end with maybe a burst phase so we can just kind of showcase everything one more time and not have to worry about the orb, right? So let's go into burst phase. All right, so we're in burst phase now. You can see we're at 2 stacks, right? So every time we do an attack, oh yeah, and we've got the EX here. So let's use the EX. So this is going to do major party heal, brave gains. It helps with the auras. So if you guys want to know the specific numbers on like all the auras and buffing, just go to Tonberry Troop. Like, they have a really good infographic and they literally lay it all out for you. So that's something I recommend. My character guides, the goal of these is just to keep them simple, give you a general idea of what the character does and kind of how to play them, right? So now, after using the EX, when you're not in burst mode like this, normally I would probably go to the AA just to have those insane brave gains. And then, because you only have 2 uses of it, so to have that for free is really good. Because I feel like Aquamarine and Peridot Thunderflash, like, you're going to get plenty of those regen back to you by using the LD. So I would say I would use those free turns on my AA, to be honest, just to keep that going. Because with that, you're going to be able to keep the AA, the uptick time, almost all the time. If you have her green, right, and you're doing both burst phases, you're probably going to keep her burst effect up for almost the whole match, and the brave gains are just going to be absolutely wild. Like, but was that an 890k brave gain? I don't know if I read that correctly. That might have been an 890k Brave gain we just saw right there. Sure, let's pop Eternal Darkness here. But can you imagine like her Brave gains with like a Machina burst phase? Like he's going to be maxed out for every single attack, and that's when you're going to be doing the 15, 16 million burst phases, right? So Garnet is a very fun character. I think I said this in my initial impressions, but for me, she's kind of going to replace Bartz because she's got Imperil. She's doing all this crazy battery and like support stuff that like Bartz would do. But she's got the damage to back it up now, right? She's looking real good to me. Real good. I'm very excited to have her. Yeah, sure, we'll just go through with these. And then we'll watch the burst attack one more time here. Yeah, and of course the follow-ups. Like, the damage is just so crazy. You could also spam her with... So, like, Lightning conveniently released, right? So you can combo her with Turn Hoggers that can just eat up the 4 turns in a row and, like, keep the follow-ups coming until it runs out, and then she can refresh them, right? So we'll go ahead. We'll do another Divine Judgment here. Aiko in the animation, very awesome. I do think, by the way, that Aiko is going to come during the cycle. During the community stream, there was like 1 or 2 slots where they didn't tell us who the characters are. It makes perfect sense for Aiko to be there, to be Final Fantasy IX themed. I think Vivi could be coming as well. I think they're going to keep it Final Fantasy IX themed, because in JP, I think those were like campaigns that weren't part of main cycles, so I think this is the perfect spot to drop them. So anyways, guys, let me know if this helps. Hope you guys are all loving the 4th anniversary. Hope you're liking Garnet. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you all in the next one.